Hi guys, I thought I'd do a recording to talk to you about enumerative paragraphs. So that's what we're going to start talking about this week. And it's not really in your book. There isn't a chapter just over enumerative paragraphs. So far we've talked about building paragraphs with a clear topic sentence that gives the topic and a clear main idea, and supporting that with major supporting details and minor supporting details that give examples, description, definition, facts, and then finishing with a concluding sentence. So this week we're going to talk about one way to organize those major supporting details. And one way is through enumeration, which all that means is creating a list of things in your support. Enumeration is probably the most common way to organize a paragraph or an essay. And what you're doing is you're breaking your main idea down into a class of something. Okay, and then basically those major supporting details are parts of that class of things. Parts or members that you're listing in that class of things. So what could be those class of things? So the class could be types of something, kinds of something, parts of something, characteristics of something, categories, factors of something. So basically, when you're organizing an enumerative paragraph, it's going to look like this. You choose a general class of something, and then those major supporting details are each discussing one part of that class. So for example, you could talk about a class of something could be types of materials you find in a library. And then individual parts could be books, reference works, periodicals, newspapers, journals. So that's what I mean by you're talking about a class of something or a kind of something or a type of something, and then you're enumerating the individual parts in your paragraph. Other examples of an enumerative paragraph could be things I have learned in taking English language classes, or my favorite types of movies, or types of undergraduate degrees offered at a college. Advice my parents gave me, and you're listing advice. The best ways to learn another language, and you're listing the ways to learn that language. So you're picking a category of something, such as ways to learn a language, and then you're listing those ways. Or advice my parents gave me, and you're listing the advice. So when you're listing, you can just list the types of things in any order, or you can decide to order them in order from the most important to the least important. So for example, if you write about the advice your parents gave you, what was the best advice? Write that first, and then go down to the worst advice. Or you could start with the worst advice and end with the best. I always like that, to end with the most important idea, because then you're leaving the reader thinking about your best idea last. So what kind of transition words do we use for an enumerative paragraph? So if you're listing things, you're going to obviously use the first one, the second one, the third one, or first, second, next. If you decide to order them by most important to least important or least important to most important, you can also use those words, such as the most important advice my parents ever gave me, or the best advice my parents ever gave me, and use those words that signal how important that member of the class or group is. Okay, so I'm going to be posting some things about enumeration for this week, and we will talk about it further on Wednesday when we meet.